Hey everybody, welcome back to the Flipping Junkie Podcast. I've got great guests today for the show. We're going to talk about rehabbing. My good friends, Jason Vickery and Peter Rybikin. They're up in Portland, crushing it. And I hate saying crushing it. I don't know why I just said that, but you guys are doing awesome up in Portland. And we just did a couple episodes with my wife, Melissa, but I wanted a different perspective from other people to share how they're rehabbing. So why don't we start with, I guess, Jason go first, and you guys can just talk. I'm not used to having two people either, so this is an interesting dynamic. But I'll just ask you guys your backgrounds as far as what got you into flipping, and then how you guys started working together, and we'll go from there.
All right. I started in construction in '93, right out of high school. Owned a cabinet company for about 12 years. I started funding a rehabber for gap funding in '09. That's how I started seeing what flipping was. And I started flipping myself in 2010 to 13, did about 15 houses. Then I met Peter. He was doing all my roofs with his roofing company. And we started partnering on deals in July 1st of 2014.
Nice. So, how did you guys start working together, though? He was doing the roofs, and who brought the conversation? Who started that conversation about working together?
I had a previous partner, and we parted ways. And I kind of took about 9 months off, and we kind of stayed in touch and said we'd do something. We actually bumped into each other at Home Depot, and he needed some money for one of his flips, so we partnered. I lent him some money on a deal, and we just decided let's partner up on everything. And so,
yep. Nice. What are you guys on track for this year?
The goal was 50. We have 23 going.
Nice.
Either done or in the process. There's 9 that are either pending or rehabbed right now.
Yeah, so definitely on track. Pretty much. So how does so you're going to do 50 this year, and that's strictly rehabbing, right? Not wholesaling, just strictly fix and flip.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. And so, what do each of you do for the business? What are your roles right now?
I do a lot of the networking. So we partner, and we have another business that we do strictly wholesaling on. The way that we're structured is I buy all the deals within my business, and then we joint venture on every deal. Peter's the general contractor, so it gives us a little bit of separation, and he runs all the job sites, and he focuses more on that. We used to both go to the jobs, but I don't go as often anymore. He's pretty much running the jobs, and I do all the networking and with other wholesalers, with realtors. So
Nice. So, Peter, do you enjoy thoroughly handling the rehabs?
No, not as much anymore.
But you probably prefer that over dealing with other people in the business?
Yeah,
or?
I've been doing it for so long that it's becoming fairly easy for me. I mean, it's, I don't even really think about what kind of lights to get, what kind of flooring. I mean, it's all, you're in and out pretty quick.
each year we've doubled our production. The first full year we did 11. Then last year we did 22 closed deals. So we've been doubling the last 2 to 3 years. So there's a lot more that's been put on him to coordinate and make sure that they're all getting done.
Right. So how do you handle it with your with doing that many deals, Peter? So are you do you have several crews, or are you subbing everything out and you're GCing everything, or how are you handling?
I used to have employees, so as of this year, there's no more employees. I helped some people set up their own licenses, and so everybody's 1099 now, and it's all just 1099 subs, and we try to keep all of the guys busy. The painter's moving from house to house. The finish guy, the demo guy, tile. Everybody's constantly working, which makes it easier. So that's pretty much how as long as we could keep them moving from house to house, then the prices stay good, and they get stuff done on time.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you find the people that you work with?
I have friends. I don't know. I've been doing this since 2010, so I mean, a lot of it just acquired over the years.
Okay. Have you ever had spots where you didn't have people and you needed to find them pretty quick?
Yeah, lots of
Last
times.
summer.
So what do you do? What do you do in those cases though? How do you? I mean, what's the process for finding somebody?
Just call some people, and I mean, I don't only have like one electrician and one plumber. It's, we have our guy, and then there's the expensive guy that we use if it really needs to be done quick. So, I mean, mostly it's working with the same plumber, electrician, painters. I mean, everybody just one contractor. But if something happens, if a repair addendum needs to get done quick, like last week or a couple weeks ago, we had to hire a company to change a panel because my guy was on vacation. So, there's always someone you could find. It just might cost a little bit more, but we're trying to do them so quick that, it's worth spending the extra, a few $100 and getting the house done quicker.
Yeah,
We have several good realtors too, so a lot of them have contacts. So if we're running short on something, we'll just ask them, hey, you got a referral for any of these? Because our guy's busy or too expensive.
And our realtor does a lot of that. I mean, he helps us out a lot on little stuff, and especially repair addendum items.
Oh, nice. Okay, so there's no like getting online and looking, doing searches for contractors or anything like that, or talking to guys at Home Depot. It's
No.
more of just networking and asking around, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's good because you kind of get a referral from somebody, right? If they're willing to recommend them. So
That's how we own our business, is pretty much networking, because he had contacts with wholesalers, so did I. So we've grown that way, and we both have our own contacts. So
it works out pretty good. So what are you guys' favorite and most profitable? Or most profitable. I would think the most profitable ones would be the favorite ones, but types of houses to rehab where you're at.
Go ahead.
right now, we make our most money on the tiny little houses that are 2-1s, 800 square foot. We're in and out in 3 weeks. We're doing really well on those.
So are you adding on to those, or are you just fixing them up the way they are?
Nope. Just
People want the smaller
I'd say
houses.
Our average rehab for 800 to 1,100 square feet is probably 40,000. So we get quite a lot done for that price. I mean, we try not to, reframe stuff and do additions. It's coming in, gutting everything, and, new windows, new roof, siding, paint, kitchen, bathrooms, and always using the same stuff. I mean, 1 out of 6 houses, maybe we'll do a nicer one where, it has a separate design, but for the most part, it's always the same stuff. So
Yeah,
everybody knows exactly what they're doing on every house.
Right, that's nice. It makes it easier, right? So there's no changing it up, every single one of them having different materials and problems because they use the wrong stuff. And I've seen pictures of the jobs that you guys have done, and it's awesome. It looks awesome.
And it helps us too with our hard money lender that a lot of the houses that we finished are actually our comps when we're going to buy something else. So
Nice.
usually 1 or 2 of them are one of our old deals within the last 6 months that he's comping against.
Wow. So do you guys focus? Do you tend to focus in a certain area or a couple areas, or are you spread out pretty far?
Mostly 2 areas, southeast, northeast. Portland probably is where we like to work, and there's less traffic for me getting in there, and it's a little easier because if we're going a little bit further out, North Portland, we have one, and it's a little bit of a drive, so it's way easier for me if we have them all in one area.
Right. What size of area would you say that is? Like population, or because I mean, doing 50 deals in 2 areas, I think my question is, how big is that area? It's pretty impressive.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's one county, but we also do, we'll do stuff out in Beaverton. That's another county. And then across the state line into Washington, where both of us live, we do a few over here too.
Oh, okay.
So probably a 50-mile radius.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. I think that's pretty much what San Antonio for the most part, I think, is probably roughly the same area. It seems like more, though, when you're driving all the way across it. But,
Traffic.
When we do our direct mail marketing stuff, it's more in that close area. But for your pay-per-click stuff that you run for us, then it's a 50 to 75 mile radius, I think.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so how do you guys prepare to start rehabbing before you close on the purchase? So I would think that you're getting ready before you actually close to start, to be ready for that rehab right away. And so what is the process?
So either we're at a point now where both of us don't have to see the house before we make an agreement. So it's either Jason goes, looks at it, or I go look at it, and, you know, we have a little spreadsheet where we plug in our numbers. We don't get bids from subs because we're doing the same thing all the time, about the same square footage. So we know it's going to be 35 to 45 grand for the rehab. And then, you know, either he sends me that spreadsheet or I send it to him and say, hey, these are the numbers. Let's buy it. Let's not buy it. Let's pass. Let's negotiate the price. And, you know, it takes about 5 minutes, literally, probably walking the house, and we know if we want it or not.
Right.
So,
and then lining up contractors. So are you typically closing on properties and then having them sit and wait while you're finishing up other projects, or do you guys have people that can start right away?
The day it closes is when I like to start, sometimes the day before. We know the wholesaler and my guy's available.
Oh, I see.
So, I mean, I really don't like them sitting. I mean, literally the day we close, either the same day or next, we have a demo crew in there, usually the first week. So our demo crew does the demo, flooring, tile, sheetrock. So that's all one crew. So during that week, they start demo. I have electricians, plumbers come in, windows, and they start the drywall. So that's all done in about the first week. Second week is trim, cabinets, and paint gets started.
Cool. So what kind of agreements do you have with everybody? I'm sure like the electrician well, go ahead.
No, we don't. I don't have any agreements. So all of these subs are. And I was just talking to Jason last week. I never get bids. So we have like 20 something houses this year, and I got maybe 3 or 4 bids from contractors for, you know, certain trades like concrete. We're doing addition in a house, but everybody just, you know, known them for so long. They trust me. I trust them. You know, they just come in, they do the job, then send an invoice.
Oh, nice.
Bigger issue with some of them is getting the invoice. The bigger houses, we do try and get some type of scope of work and some bids. We've done some historic houses, and we'll never do them again. They were fun, but they're just too time consuming. And so we also take advantage of the pro desk at Home Depot a lot. We have one sales lady there that she helps him out a lot. I mean, we can call her, she'll have an order ready for us just to come in and pick it up and run out the door. So.
Oh, nice.
And let me add, I am a general contractor, so I do have, I'm required to have an agreement. So it's just a one-time agreement with the sub, and then I get additional insured, make sure they're licensed. You know, but that's once a year. But we don't have something that's per job or, you know, kind of with the scope of work, because it's always the same thing. If someone doesn't do something right, they'll come back and fix it, or you know, that's just at a point where we're at in the relationship with them.
Yeah, so, you know, it's awesome to hear, because I hear a lot of people complaining about contractors, and it's because they don't have the right contractors. And in our experience, whenever we've enjoyed the business, it's because we had good contractors. And then when we've despised the business and are frustrated and stressed out, it's almost always because we have contractors that aren't working out well. So it's good to hear that, you know, it's possible to build relationships. And I think we're at the same point where we've got people we trust, and it's real easy. Everything's smooth sailing. But for everybody to know that that's possible, to take your time in finding those crews and those people to help you with everything. And then you probably don't even have issues with them invoicing too high, or do you? Do you have to ever negotiate?
No, I've been doing this for so long that I know approximately the prices. So when I made a deal with my tile guy, so it doesn't matter if, you know, if he's laying it on concrete or if he's installing hardy backer, it's always the same price. So we kind of figured out a price that it's always going to be this easy or hard job. It averages out usually. Sometimes, you know, I'll see something a little bit higher, be like, hey, you know, what's going on? This same house was $500 cheaper, and they always have a good excuse that, you know, they did something extra. So.
And we keep them busy too. They're rolling from one house to the next. So
once in a while you have to tell them, hey, don't be jacking the prices up. I mean, I'm keeping you busy, but for the most part, we don't have those issues.
Yeah. So being aware of what it's supposed to be, and because it is tempting to jump to that too soon, where you use a new contractor, and they do a great job, and you feel like you have a good relationship, and so you're going to trust them a little bit more in the next one. And the temptation is because I've done this, right? I've trusted them too much, and they said that maybe they're ready for the next draw when they're not. You're like, well, they did a great job on the first one. I want to keep them happy, and you go ahead and pay them when you shouldn't have, and then all of a sudden you start having problems because you've already paid more than what they've done, and it's easier for them to go work another job to get more money than it is to finish up everything for you. So it's just something to be cautious about for people listening to the podcast.
Me being a general contractor, that's what makes it a little bit easier on that end, where we're not, I don't need a deposit because we're using our own money. So usually it's, all the trades are separate, and they don't really require a down payment. So if you're hiring a general contractor, then he's going to want 25%, 50% down. So we kind of avoid that, and we're paying directly to the subcontractors for every trade, which kind of cuts out that risk of having them run away with the money.
Right. Yeah, no, it sounds like you guys have it set up really well.
Yeah, it's a nice setup the way we have it. I mean, basically, I usually use my money to do the down payment for the 10% on the loans. I cover the monthly payments and things like that through my business. He's fronting the money on the rehabs until either we pull a draw or he's using part of his money for that rehab, depending on what our funds are. So it's a good split of our funds and split of our time.
And I don't want people thinking it's easy, because we're making it sound like this is easy. Every day I have problems. The subs, they're all good guys, but nobody puts out they don't write stuff down. I mean, I got to call them every day, make sure they're on top of stuff. I got to drive by the job sites. I got to, point everything out, and it's constantly an issue. And I'm always complaining to Jason, and
we have
stressed out.
We have a lot of issues in Portland with homeless. So I mean, one weekend, 4 break-ins. We bought one house. They moved back in. Finally got him out the next week, and he goes to start work, and there's a dude in the shower.
Oh,
Just
wow.
one of their friends. So it's every day it's something different with homeless squatters.
Man, yeah, because I was just about to ask Peter, what exactly do you do? If it sounds like it's all set up, and it's like you're telling Peter that you're going to check these job sites, but you're just going down to the bar or something. And
He complains that he wants to dress nice like me.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. I say that, but I do it on. I don't do the dirty work anymore. But I think connecting, since I still have my roofing company, and I deal with subs, I understand how it is when you have someone, the boss coming by in a nice car, dressed up nice, and telling you what to do. So I connect more with the subs when I dress as a contractor. So, and I feel strongly about that because, people feel like they connect more, they trust you more, you kind of, they feel the same, they know how you feel, basically, right? So.
And we don't pull up in sports cars to the job sites.
why not?
We don't have sports cars yet.
No, I'm just kidding.
We don't have TV shows.
TV shows. Not yet, at least, right? Let's go through some of the rehabbing process, though. And there was a question on the Flip Pilot Facebook group about the order of rehab. And so, obviously when you've got a full rehab, you need to do things in certain order so that you're not going back and fixing stuff that had already been done because it was done in the wrong order. Do you want to walk through basically like a full rehab where you're doing a gut job or, at least gutting the kitchen and bathrooms or something, and the rest of the house and the roof and the foundation? Like where
We don't do much with foundations, but so basically the first thing is demo, obviously. As soon as the house is demoed, the first steps for us is a plumber and electrician. If we're moving a wall or, adding something, closing it off, we'll get that done with the demo. And electrician comes in right away, plumber, changes the tub, make sure the plumbing's good. The electrician adds lights or removes stuff, closes off wiring. So that's kind of the first first few days, that's the steps.
Now, if there's a roof, you do the roof before a demo or during demo?
No, it kind of depends. The roof can be done whenever. I mean, it could be done right away. It could be done in the very end. I mean, it could be, sometimes we'll leave it, we know it's bad, and we know it's going to get called out, but we don't have guys available. So we're just going to leave it until home inspection, and then we'll just do it then. Because that's kind of a bigger job. And over here in Portland, it was raining for like 6 months. And
yeah, see, that would be my concern, right? If it starts pouring down. But I guess, if you like you said you have the roofing business, so you know how quickly you can get it done and get it covered and when to do it. So
yeah, so it's that roofing is probably not a big concern, I think, for people to try to schedule it right away or then just make sure the contractor is available. Because my company's out 2 months right now for roofing, and I still need to squeeze in our houses. So
yeah,
so that roof. Same week we'll do windows. That's probably right away. And, a lot of times the same guys could do it that are doing demo window siding. That's all done first week.
We try and make some changes to the house if we need to, so we can use Home Depot's stock windows. Otherwise, it's 10 days to order stuff. Mm-hmm. So if we needed to do a wider piece of molding or do a little bit of siding, it's cheaper for us to do that than to wait 10 days and stop everything.
Yeah, I forgot that. That's probably been our biggest thing this year. Last year is the windows. So it takes 2 weeks to order a window. So we know all the stock sizes, and we'll buy the closest stock size from Home Depot, and then our guys will frame it in a little smaller, frame it in a little bigger, but it gets done the first week.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. It's been helping us a lot. And, on nicer houses and bigger ones, we'll order them when we have time, and, custom windows, but we get away with the stock ones, and, they're nice windows.
Okay, and so after the plumbing, electrical, and the windows and everything, then you sheetrock?
Yep, sheetrock. And one thing we do, with some people might not agree, is we get all the tile, cabinet install, laminate flooring, tile, everything done before painting. So all of that gets completed, and then the painters come in and they'll just mask everything, and they're painting our houses probably 4 or 5 days total.
Right, and the benefit of that is you don't have all the damage done to the painted walls, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And then it seems to work a little quicker. As soon as the painters are done, the house is pretty much done. It just needs final plumbing, final electrical, and we put staging in every single house. That's been a big. The what?
Refrigerators. We've been putting those in pretty much all the houses because these houses are small.
Yeah, we try to make up for the kind of weird layouts, and if it's a bigger kitchen, we probably won't do a fridge. If it's a smaller, weird layout in kitchen, we'll add a fridge to make it, feel nicer and I guess feel bigger.
Yeah. Do you guys use granite in all the rehabs, or what do you use for countertops and cabinets?
We're selling these 800 square foot houses for $275 to $300 in Portland. So anything that's under that range, we're putting in butcher block that we get from IKEA. So our countertops are like $300.
Yeah, Melissa, I think, told me something about that. $300 for all. And how many linear feet is that for a countertop?
They're 8 foot and 6 foot pieces. They're, I think, $140 a piece.
Wow.
So it's kind of like the preformed Formica stuff, laminated countertops you'd get at Home Depot, but it looks a little nicer. And I'm sure you've seen the pictures. It's kind of always the same thing: white cabinets, the butcher block, and white subway tile backsplash.
Are you getting the cabinets from Home Depot?
Lowe's. We get those at Lowe's because Home Depot, one of the stores, just started carrying those cabinets because of us. Because we've been telling them, you need to get these in because I have to go to Lowe's all the time and get cabinets, and I'm not a big fan of Lowe's.
So you're getting the pre-finished ones?
Yeah, white.
Yeah, white shaker.
Yeah, look nice. Yeah, would you guys mind posting some pictures on the Flip Pilot group, on the Facebook group, so people can see the rehab? Just like do one post with a bunch of pictures or something?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. And then anybody listening that's not already a member of the Flip Pilot group, if you go to flippilot.com, you can get an invitation to that closed Facebook group. And it's been growing like crazy, a lot of people interacting. And it's basically the main point of the group is just for people to focus more on their business instead of in the business, and trying to get everybody that's interested in doing that and setting up their business that way to be a part of it. So Jason and Peter, and I think you're in there, Peter, are you? You haven't?
Yeah, you guys finally added me.
Okay.
Jason always gets all the credit, and I get to do the dirty work.
No. But so flippilot.com, you can get an invitation in there so you can get invited into that group. It's pretty cool. And then Jason and Peter post those pictures of the beautiful rehabs. But so after you do the kitchen, like you finish the flooring, painting, all that kind of stuff, get the cabinets, the countertops, and then light fixtures, I guess, after all that, and finishing touches.
Yeah, so after painting, I usually have an order for the very end where it's plumbing fixtures, light fixtures, doorknobs, stuff like that. And the guys come in. I mean, after the paint's done, it takes, one day for a plumber, one day electrical, and finish guy, and then we get it cleaned and staged the same day.
So you guys are...
He also does volume orders through the Pro Desk too. So he'll walk through the house the day we get it, or before we even close on it. He'll have a list of all the materials that he's going to get. He'll go in and do one large order and either have it delivered or come and pick it up. But
Oh, nice. So what kind of discounts do you guys get, or is it a special one because of a relationship, or is it a standard thing that people could ask for?
Home Depot has the volume bid. If you're spending over, I think we're down to 1,000, but when you're starting out, it's 1,500. You run it through the Pro Desk, and it's probably usually about 10% off at least.
Oh, not bad.
We're getting that, and then they have a fuel rewards program. So for the past year, I mean, I've been filling up for 38 cents for a tank in my truck because we're doing so much orders. You get 10 cents for every $1,000 that you spend.
Man, that's awesome.
It's kind of nice to have that, and they'll give us, they'll text us sometimes if they have something on sale or something discontinued, some nice appliances that have a little dent. And
yeah, we bought a whole set of windows that were custom windows for $100 because they were going to throw them in the garbage.
Oh, nice.
So that's everybody awesome. Knows this at Home Depot.
Yeah. You know what I used to do is, I don't know if I should say it or not, but whenever we were still buying materials and stuff at Home Depot, there used to be these 20% off coupons that you could get for Home Depot, and I would buy them on eBay, I think.
Yep, I did that too.
They're super cheap. You get the whole pack, right? And then you just go use them.
And the Lowe's ones. Bought the Lowe's ones, and then Depot matched them. And
yeah, they don't do that anymore, do they? I don't think.
They
were like the employee ones or something, right?
Yeah, people started printing them and selling the fake ones on eBay, and I think they stopped that.
Yeah, because I think a couple times they did say, hey, this isn't valid or something, but they would still honor it. It was kind of crazy. But so anyway, so a bunch of people are going to go out and start searching eBay right now for Home Depot 20% off. And if it says like 50% off, it's probably fake, right?
Just do a change of address every couple of months, and they send you all kinds of them. I got about 15 of them from Lowe's right now.
Nice. Now, how much off, though?
It says 10%, so Home Depot will take $50 off.
Oh, so they do still do it, and it's valid from Home Depot.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You have to put a valid card in, though, it's printed out properly.
Well, that's cool. Let's see. So what else? What issues? So I guess we talked a little bit about some of the issues that you guys have encountered when you're trying to work on the house. But when you're trying to sell the rehabs, have you guys run into any issues selling them that other people might run into? With appraisals or people breaking in, vandalism, anything?
We've had a lot of theft, and we had appraisal issues last year towards the end of summer where they were just taking forever. That seems to have gotten a little bit better. We haven't had any of those issues lately. Most of the stuff goes pretty quick, and we've got one right now that had a deed restriction, so we've had to hold that. It's been done. We had that done in 3.5 weeks. Can't sell it. We've got a buyer. We can't close on it till 4th of July.
Oh, man. So what do you do in cases like that?
It just sits there.
Yeah.
We've got the repair addendum to get done, but we can't close on it because there's a restriction.
So when the appraisals take a long time to get done, is there anything that you can do to request maybe It's just that you can't find a good appraiser to go out right away.
The buyers are the ones that are ordering it, and last year they were so backed up that it was taking 5-6 weeks for appraisals. So last probably 10 houses have been fine, and the values are coming in good. I mean, we haven't had a value not come in good, and can't even remember the last time. They're always coming in good.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So what about
them to order the appraisal as soon as the offer is accepted too? So that's probably helped a little bit too.
Yes, you're not waiting until then having to push everything along. So the squatters and so you've had squatters, right? And then like vandalism or anything like that. What have you guys? Is there anything that you do to try to prevent that from happening?
SimplySafe.com just started that. So we got those cameras, and we haven't connected with the one we're testing. It's just, it has a nice alarm, like it'll scare them off. And I think 2 weeks ago a realtor came and the doors were open. Someone broke in, but I think the alarm went off and scared them off.
So what does the Simply Safe have? What are the features?
You ordered it.
It's just a basic security system. It's got the horn. You can put it on, I think, three sensors for your doors. You're supposed to link it and get a permit. I haven't actually done that yet. So if the cops do come, then we'll probably get fined, but that's something I got to do.
Does it dial out to the police?
It doesn't dial out, but I didn't realize you needed to get a permit until I moved into my house and I was getting the security system put in, and they said,
I think that's if it communicates to the police is when you need the permit, I think.
Well, it does communicate if you sign up for the service.
There is a monthly service for it.
Yeah, because we use Lowe's Iris one, I think, and that just goes to my cell phone, and then I have to call the police. So
it's mostly people trying to. I mean, we had one like last week where someone broke in and just took a shower and left. I mean, they didn't touch anything. So a lot of them are pretty weird. We try to change the locks out, and
we try and talk to the neighbors too when we first buy it. We used to take them letters, but we don't do it anymore. I give them a business card if I'm there, just so they'll watch out, and if they know we're remodeling the house. If somebody's in there in the middle of the night, call the police.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea, and to give them your contact info, because if they see something happening but they don't want to call the police, but they would probably call you if they have your contact info, they can do that so you can take care of it.
Yeah, the last house she called me every night because we got broken into, I think, 4 nights in a row.
Oh man, that sounds like a house
this is fairly new. This has not been an issue like this. I've been doing this for 8 years, and this year is really bad. Last year was not as bad, but it seems like it's becoming a bigger issue with break-ins, and these are not, they're not super bad areas. This is, $300,000 houses that are 800 square feet in Southeast Portland, and it's not enough houses, I guess, or there's.
It's because we're a sanctuary city and the mayor doesn't do anything about it.
It could have something to do with it. Yeah, we had a house one time that was a nightmare. It had an in-ground pool too, and the kids just love. Like there was a street behind it, and you had to go way around to get into one neighborhood from the other. And so they knew that house was vacant, so they just loved going through the fence. And then saw that it was vacant and had the pool and everything. And we got the pool all filled up and looking great, so they decided to hang out there at night. And I guess the neighbor was saying that they would jump from the roof into the pool and spray painted up the exterior of the house and all kinds of stuff, and even the interior too. So it was like a safety thing too, right? Because if somebody gets hurt doing that and then they sue you for it and all that kind of stuff. So like we put TVs on and stuff and closed, like put curtains up on the windows so they couldn't tell it was vacant or wondered if somebody was in there watching TV. But that only worked for a little while, I think, before they realized that it's like all night long the same. But
put a mannequin on a record player. That
we
goes around.
should have, yeah.
Home Alone.
Yeah, the Home Alone stuff. Keep playing that one movie over and over again. But awesome. So what are you guys going to be trying to do more wholesale? Are you sticking with the rehabbing just because it's so much more profitable and it's harder to find enough deals to be able to crank up the wholesaling?
We've been trying to do more wholesaling. That was kind of my focus this part of beginning of this year, and it's just hard finding people that really want to do the sales and things like that. So recently, 45 days ago, we agreed to bring on somebody that we're splitting. So he does all the sales end of it. So any of the they answer all our calls, they go to all the appointments, they do all that front end stuff. We pay for the marketing. We gave him all of our dead leads so they can convert those. He gets 60% of the dead leads. We split 50-50, and percentage wise in the numbers that we ran, we'll make the same amount of money and we won't have to do as much work.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I manage as many people. He manages the whole sales thing, which he's good at, and we can work on the flips and networking and do the marketing.
Great.
So your pay-per-click will start bringing us more leads.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what, let me see. So what is the plan, Peter? What are you planning to, I mean, you enjoy the rehabbing so much that you're going to stay managing the rehabs? I mean, what do you want to do? If you don't mind my asking.
I want to retire.
Yeah.
He's like 22.
I was going to talk about it if you would ask me about my background, but he only asked about Jason's.
No, I asked about both of you guys. You didn't say anything, though. So go ahead and share your background.
So I started doing this. I dropped out of school and did some construction, opened up a roofing company with a friend in 2006, and then we split up about a year later. And so I was doing roofing on my own, and then late 2009, early 2010, I was posting Craigslist ads for roofing, and a guy reached out. I gave him a bid, and he asked me if I do remodeling. And 2009-10 was kind of slow for everybody, so I told him, sure, why not? Didn't know what I was doing. Just called up people, Googled, what an egress window is and pretty much everything. And did the first flip for him, lost money, basically managing it. And, I was doing a lot of stuff myself. And so probably 15, 20 houses I did as a GC, maybe 30. And then, I started talking to people and partnering with them on flips. They buy the house, I run the project, split 50-50. And
how did you find those investors? When you started partnering with them, how were you finding them? Was it on forums online, or was it just meetups?
No,
or
this one guy I met on, from Craigslist, and, I met the hard money lender. 'Cause back then he used to actually come to the job sites and, bring the checks, and I met the realtor. And they had a little network already. So I kind of started, talking to people, and, eventually I started doing stuff on my own until I partnered up with Jason. So that's how, and after 8 years, I'm getting a little tired of being the general contractor. So
are you making plans to replace yourself in that position, or?
Yeah, kind of. I have a guy in mind.
He has a hard time letting go of control of things, though.
I have a hard time believing that someone could do what I do this quick. I mean, I've probably done 140 houses by now, maybe more. So it's like, I don't even think about it when I do this stuff now. So to train someone, it's going to take me as much work as just doing it myself at this point.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but
I'm
once
working on someone that is going to be doing most of the stuff, so I could just kind of manage it. And our goal is to kind of, do more wholesaling and, pick the good deals to flip, and maybe not do as many. So we'll see.
Oh, that's a good way to do it. But yeah, I mean, because to keep going, you've got to keep doing every one of them. So like putting in that work. I mean, you already know, right? I mean, but I think believing that somebody else can do just as good as you is important too, because I had the same things about acquisitions people and finding somebody. And it was really hard for me to let go of it, but I'm glad I did.
But it's getting better. I mean, even when we partnered 3 years ago, we did a bit of, some, build a deck, and someone bids it too high, but we were like, $1,000, we could do it ourselves in 4 hours, so we just do it with him. And
they don't show up to finish the hardwood floors. We put it in. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah. So we have better subs now, and eventually one of them is going to hopefully become, the main guy, and I could just kind of maybe meet him a few times at the house and tell him, let's move this wall here, or let's do this. And also depends on how the market goes. I mean, it's been pretty hot for a while here.
Yeah, I hope that continues, right? What do you guys think the market's going to do? Positive.
I hope it's going to be good for a couple more years. We're going to probably push as hard as we can and buy as many as we can till about August, and then we'll finish those up. I don't know how many we're going to buy towards the end of the year just to see how things are selling and how the market's going. We were ready this year. We started buying a lot in December, January, so we had quite a few already going. And most people take that time off and they're not doing a lot. A lot of wholesalers quit marketing in December. So I don't know. It's hard to predict, but we just want to be careful we don't have too much out there and get stuck with 12, 15 houses.
Yeah,
Our margin's pretty good to where we could cut our price and we could sell them and we wouldn't lose money on the majority of them. But
yeah, so what kind of margins are you guys typically going for?
we try and shoot for the 20 to 25% return on your investment. We usually don't look real close at the percentage till the end. Usually our calculator, we look at if we're going to be doing a $30,000 to $40,000 rehab, we want to make 30 to 40 after paying everything, all our hard money, holding costs, closing costs, all that's in our calculator. So
we're probably on the deals we do, we're averaging, I'd say, between 15 and 20% return on investment.
Nice.
So it just kind of depends. Sometimes we'll go a little less if it's a deal that we know, we could do it in 2 weeks in and out, and it's summer, we're spring, summer, it'll sell quick. So sometimes we'll take more riskier deals. We'll stop doing that in August.
Yeah, that's cool. What's the days on market typically for the typical deals that you guys are doing? That you
12 hours.
What's that? 12 hours it's sold?
12 hours. No, the worst one probably 2 weeks. 2 weeks we kind of start panicking. Not panicking. We're like, should we drop the price a little bit? Usually it's first week we have an offer. Yeah.
Do you price it at the top of the market, or do you always price it just slightly lower to help move it that fast?
We haven't been going too low. They've been pretty close to what they're actually worth.
Yeah, that's
we
awesome.
don't per price. It's probably right market value, maybe slightly more, but we're not trying to go, 15, 20 grand over and drop the price 2 weeks later.
Yeah, well, it sells really quick. So do you think it's more of just like the product? Like you guys are just, the houses that you're selling are nicer than the other ones available, and it's why they move so fast?
I think everything is selling.
Yeah.
But, then obviously it's a remodeled house. It's, we're not doing, I see a lot of people are doing, just paint and carpet. So every house we're changing out all the doors, trim. I mean, it's almost like a new house.
And the median price range in Portland, I think, is $370. So we're under the median. So anything that we put up is going to sell pretty quick because the market, there's only 1.3 months on the market right now of inventory. So stuff sells real.
I'm always impressed when people know that number. How many months of inventory?
We network with a lot of realtors. So.
Oh, okay. So that's why. I always feel bad when I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. It's probably something like that here. I could probably just make something up and everybody would think it was right.
We have two main realtors in Oregon and we have one in Washington. And then we've networked with other realtors to where if they bring us a deal, then they get the list back. So, and that's something we didn't do a year and a half ago. We were very committed to one realtor and we started losing wholesale deals and losing things because we weren't giving list back. So
how do you, do you guys, you talk with them and build a relationship before you bring up doing that? Or is that just whenever you make the offers, you say, when we go to sell this, we'll list it back? I mean, how are you?
Most of that is like referrals from other people.
Yeah, they know about it.
In Washington, our realtor, she's found us, I think, 3 deals in Portland. She's like, hey, this realtor's out of my office, but she's not licensed in Oregon. So she'll refer, hey, these guys will be able to close your deal all cash. So she'll put us in touch and
nice.
She gets the list back.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, this has been a great episode. I really do appreciate you guys both sharing your stories and process of rehabbing and all that kind of stuff. For anybody listening that wants to get a hold of you guys or in contact with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Probably by email.
All right, and I'll
My
include.
email is Jason. You can just include it.
Yeah, go ahead though.
Yeah. It's Jason at nwpropertyinvestmentsllc.com.
So Jason, nwpropertyinvestmentsllc.com. And Peter, is yours just Peter at the same?
Yep.
Awesome. You're going to get a bunch of spam now, watch.
Awesome.
I'm just kidding. You get a bunch of magazine subscriptions, right? I get a bunch of emails from Williams Sonoma with receipts, like somebody's putting my email address whenever they buy something. And I'm getting all these receipts. It's weird. But anyway, so I appreciate it. And I'll include that in the show notes. It's flippingjunkie.com/78. And then Jason and Peter are going to include images of their finished product. The Rehab is really awesome on the Flip Pilot group. So join the Flip Pilot Facebook group if you haven't. And Jason and Peter also love our PPC managed AdWords that we do for them through Lead Propeller. So highly recommended, but not if you're in Portland. If you're in Portland, you're going to have to go elsewhere. But anyway, thanks again, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Danny.
All right, talk to you later.